The world never truly understood the force hidden inside you because you were never loud. You were never desperate for attention. You were silent, steady, and observant, like a shadow watching everything, yet revealing nothing. And in that silence, something powerful was building, something no one expected, something that now makes people stare in disbelief, because the side of you they ignored has become the side of you that makes their jaw drop and their heartbeat shift. They thought you were ordinary, but they never knew how extraordinary the quiet can become when the quiet learns to rise. Thank you for walking into this moment with your heart open, because what you're about to hear is meant to remind you of your worth, your fire, and your depth. And before we go further, I want to say this from the bottom of the voice speaking to you. If these words reach you, if they resonate with even a small corner of your soul, then take a moment to like this message, subscribe for more strength, and leave a comment sharing your journey, because your story matters and someone out there needs to see it. This isn't just motivation. This is a bond between your silent strength and the path you're about to walk. People often expect greatness to appear with noise, with announcements, with applause. But the truth is that the strongest transformations happen in stillness, and you have lived through storms that tried to break you through quiet nights where the world didn't hear your struggle. And yet you kept going. You kept building. You kept shaping yourself from the inside out. They never expected you to rise because they never saw your internal battles. They didn't see the moments you held yourself together when everything wanted to fall apart. And now that you stepped forward with this new force, they're stunned because your growth didn't ask for permission. It simply arrived. There is a side of you that learned strength through patience, a side that learned courage through pain, a side that learned self-control through disappointment, and that side is the one they never prepared themselves to witness. They thought your silence meant you were weak, but silence can be the hiding place of power. Silence can be the fortress where resilience is born. Silence can be the training ground where warriors teach themselves how to stand alone. And now that you're no longer hiding that power, they are seeing what silence can create, and it is leaving them breathless. You have blown their mind, not because you changed suddenly, but because you finally stopped dimming the parts of yourself that were always extraordinary. You stopped shrinking to make others comfortable. You stopped apologizing for wanting more. You stopped pretending to be less so. No one would feel threatened. Now you walk with clarity and purpose, and it unsettles the ones who underestimated you, because nothing is more shocking than seeing someone you overlooked become someone you admire. There were days when you doubted yourself, days when you questioned whether you were moving too slowly, days when you felt invisible, but every step you took in those unseen moments became the foundation for this version of you. You didn't rush your transformation. You didn't force it. You allowed it to grow, layer by layer. And that is why it is so powerful, because anything built in truth becomes unbreakable. And now that you stand here stronger, calmer, wiser, they look at you with eyes wide open, trying to understand how you became someone they can no longer categorize. A quiet person with a determined heart is the most unpredictable force in the world, because quiet people watch everything they learn. Quickly they grow deeply, and they rise at the exact moment no one expects. Your rise is not the result of luck. It is the result of every difficult choice you made when no one was cheering for you, every sacrifice you made when no one noticed, every moment you kept going when your heart felt tired. Now, those moments have turned into something magnetic, something undeniable, something that reveals the truth about who you really are. The side of you that shocks them is the side that finally decided to honor your potential, the side that chose growth over comfort, discipline over distraction, healing over pretending, focus over chaos. And when someone commits to becoming their strongest self, no one can predict the outcome, not even the person transforming. That is why your evolution feels so overwhelming to them, because they believe the old version of you was all there was, and they didn't realize how much you were holding back. You've stepped into a power that doesn't need to shout a confidence, that doesn't need validation, a purpose that doesn't need to be advertised. Real strength doesn't scream. Real strength breathes. Real strength moves like a quiet storm, shaping everything without needing to be seen doing it. And that is the force you carry now, a presence so deeply rooted in truth that it changes the energy of any space you walk into without a single word. The reason they're stunned is because they finally see what was always there, but hidden behind doubt, behind fear, behind overthinking, behind expectations placed on you by people who never truly knew your spirit. You've peeled off layers that were never yours to carry, and underneath those layers was a version of you, filled with brilliance and fire and clarity and purpose. You didn't become someone new. You simply stopped being who the world pressured you to be. There will always be people who only remember the older, quieter, uncertain version of you, but that is because they were never meant to walk with you into this chapter. Some people are designed to witness your transformation, not join it. Some are meant to watch your strength, not benefit from it. Some are meant to see your rise from a distance because they weren't ready to value you when you were right in front of them. And now that you've revealed this side of yourself, the side they never expected, the side built from resilience and self-respect, they suddenly understand that you're no longer the person they once knew. They cannot speak to you the same way, they cannot treat you the same way, they cannot assume things about you the same way, because your energy no longer entertains the old patterns. You have outgrown spaces that no longer feed your spirit, and it shows. This is your moment to walk without apology, to rise without hesitation, to embrace the power that was always meant for you. And yes, people will be shocked. People will be speechless. People will replay old conversations, realizing they misunderstood you entirely. But that is not your burden to carry. Your only responsibility now is to continue blooming into the person you were always meant to become. Every step you take from here forward becomes a reminder that transformation doesn't require approval. It requires courage. And you have shown courage repeatedly in ways most people will never know. That is why you carry a strength they cannot comprehend, a focus they cannot match, and a presence they cannot ignore. Your journey is far from over, but you have already proven something important. You are not defined by who you used to be. You are defined by who you decided to become. And the version of you standing here now, the one they never expected, the one that makes their jaw drop, the one that blows their mind, is only the beginning of your becoming. Keep going, keep rising, keep surprising the world by being exactly who you were born to be. You may not realize it yet, but every time you chose to rise instead of crumble, every time you chose to breathe instead of break, every time you chose to hold on instead of disappear, you were shaping the version of yourself that now leaves people astonished. They thought your silence meant you were done. They mistook your stillness for surrender. They assumed your quiet was a sign of defeat. But what they didn't understand was that you were gathering strength, collecting wisdom, learning the truth of your own capability. And when someone grows in the dark, they emerge with a depth that light cannot hide. There is a strange beauty in being underestimated because it gives you the freedom to evolve without pressure. It allows you to build without eyes watching. It allows you to rise at your own pace. And that is exactly what you did. You didn't rush your transformation. You didn't chase validation. You didn't depend on applause. You began shaping yourself from a deeper place, one built on reflection and truth, one carved from mistakes and lessons, one strengthened by pain and persistence. And now that this side of you has surfaced, it leaves people unsure how to react because you're no longer who they casually brushed aside. Sometimes life pushes you into silence, not to weaken you, but to sharpen you. It removes distractions. It removes noise. It removes people who are holding you back. Silence teaches you to listen to your own voice, and once you learn to trust that voice, you become unstoppable. That is why your presence feels different now. You don't need to convince anyone of your growth. You don't need to announce your rise. You don't need to prove your worth. Your energy speaks for you, and it speaks with a force that people never expected from someone they once overlooked. When people see your strength now, they feel a mix of admiration and confusion because they remember the version of you who doubted everything, questioned everything, feared everything. But they didn't see the nights you stood alone, rebuilding yourself piece by piece. They didn't see the moments you wiped your own tears and kept moving. They didn't see how many times you chose to begin again when everything inside you said to stop. The version of you they're witnessing now is the result of quiet battles they never knew existed. And it's not just your strength that surprises them, it's your clarity. You walk differently now, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you finally see your own worth with your own eyes. Your steps are deliberate. Your presence is grounded. Your energy is stable. People can feel when someone has changed from the inside out, and that is what leaves their jaw dropping. They are not reacting to your appearance. They are reacting to your transformation. What they never expected was your ability to detach with peace. You no longer chase people. You no longer beg for understanding. You no longer cling to situations that drain your soul. You have learned that your time and energy are sacred, and once someone learns that they stop tolerating what once held them back, this shift in you is powerful because it comes from a place of inner stability, and people who once took your kindness for granted now see that they can no longer access you in the same way. You've become someone who doesn't respond with anger. You respond with distance. You don't prove yourself through arguments. You prove yourself through action. You don't demand respect. You embody it. And that is what astonishes people. They feel the difference even before they can understand it. You have grown in ways that can't be undone, and that is what leaves them speechless. There is a point in life where a person stops fearing loss because they have finally learned how to build themselves. You reach that point quietly and powerfully. You no longer fear losing people because you no longer lose yourself in the process. You no longer fear change because you have become adaptable. You no longer fear being alone because solitude has become your strength. And when someone reaches this level of self-awareness, they become a force impossible to predict. The truth is, you always had this power within you, but life had to break certain parts to awaken it. Sometimes your heart needs to crack so the light inside can escape. Sometimes your path needs to fall apart so you can build one that is real. Sometimes the people you trusted need to walk away so you can learn to trust yourself. These moments didn't destroy you, they revealed you. They carved out the version of you that now shines with a strength that can't be ignored. What shocks people most is that you didn't announce your transformation. You didn't seek sympathy when you were hurting. You didn't broadcast your progress. You didn't look for approval. You healed in silence. You grew in silence. You built in silence. And when someone rises from quiet places, their power carries a mystery that people cannot compare to anything they've seen before. That mystery is what leaves their mind overwhelmed when they see you now. Your confidence isn't loud, it's calm. Your strength isn't aggressive, it's steady. Your growth isn't boastful, it's undeniable. You have become the kind of person whose presence speaks long before your words do. And that is why people stare in disbelief when you enter a room, when you speak with certainty, when you make choices with clarity. You no longer live for others' opinions because you've learned that the only voice that truly shapes your life is the one within you. People who once underestimated you now replay their memories trying to understand how they missed the signs of your potential. They try to make sense of how someone they dismissed has become someone they cannot ignore. And the truth is simple. They weren't meant to understand your journey while it was happening. They were meant to witness it after you outgrew them. You don't need to be angry at them. Growth has a way of sorting the past without bitterness. The person you are becoming doesn't hold resentment because resentment keeps you tied to the very things you've outgrown. Instead, you carry gratitude for every lesson, every setback, every heartbreak, because without them, you wouldn't have reached this level of self-awareness. Those moments shape the side of you that now shocks the world. And as you continue rising, you will notice something else. The right people will be drawn to this new version of you. People who value depth will feel safe around you. People who understand growth will respect you. People who carry sincerity will connect with you. Your transformation will attract those who match your energy and repel those who don't. This is not rejection, it is alignment. It is your life filtering out what no longer serves your soul. Every day, you step further into your power, you will feel more grounded, more present, more aware. You will stop explaining yourself to people who don't listen. You will stop apologizing for decisions that protect your peace. You will stop shrinking to fit into places that were never designed for your spirit. And as you do this, the world will continue watching you with awe because they are witnessing a transformation that feels unreal. You are not done evolving. This is only the beginning of the side of you that will continue to surprise people. The more you discover yourself, the more unstoppable you become. And one day, the same people who doubted you will look back and realize that your silence was never weakness. It was preparation. You are not who you used to be. You have become someone deeper, someone stronger, someone more aware of their purpose. And that version of you is powerful beyond measure. People will look at you now and wonder how you managed to rise without noise, how you rebuilt yourself without announcing every step, how you became more focused, more grounded, more certain, without seeking approval from anyone. They will try to understand the moment your transformation began, but the truth is, your transformation wasn't a moment. It was a series of choices, tiny ones, quiet ones, painful ones that slowly shaped the person you are becoming. They didn't see the nights you questioned your worth. They didn't see the days when you forced yourself to keep going, despite the heaviness in your spirit. They didn't see the inner battles that only you had the strength to fight. And that is why this version of you pulls their attention effortlessly, because you didn't rise through praise. You rose through perseverance. There is a calmness in you now that frightens people who once thought they knew you. They expect the old reactions, the old patterns, the old insecurities, but those parts of you have faded. You no longer give energy to conflict that drains you. You no longer explain yourself to people who don't want to understand you. You no longer bend your identity to fit into places that couldn't hold your truth. This calmness is not emptiness, it is mastery. It is the mastery of your emotions, your boundaries, your values, and your direction. And when someone achieves mastery, people feel that shift in ways they can't put into words. You have become someone who doesn't need validation to feel worthy, and that alone is enough to transform the landscape of your relationships, your goals, and your future. When you stop chasing approval, you become free. When you stop fearing judgment, you become powerful. When you stop needing acceptance, you become limitless. These shifts happen quietly, but when they surface, they change everything around you. People who underestimated you never thought you'd reach this point because they believed your strength depended on them, but now they see it never did. Your silence has become your strength because silence allowed you to hear yourself clearly. It allowed you to understand who you truly are, what you want, what hurts you, what heals you, and what you are no longer willing to carry. When a person learns to listen to their own soul, they no longer move with confusion. They move with certainty. They move with intention. They move with depth. And that depth is what makes people stare at you with disbelief. Because depth cannot be faked. Depth cannot be rushed. Depth cannot be overlooked once it arrives. Every difficult chapter you lived through carved something meaningful into your spirit. The disappointments strengthened you. The failures taught you. The heartbreaks revealed you. The silence matured you. Every moment that hurt you contributed to the version of you that now stands unshaken. And people see that now. They see that you didn't crumble under pressure, you evolved through it. You didn't lose yourself. You discovered yourself. You didn't stop growing. You grew quietly in ways they never imagined. The reason they are surprised is because they remember the version of you who doubted their own strength, who questioned their own value, who gave too much and received too little. They remember the moments you felt lost, the moments you felt small, the moments you felt unsure. But what they don't understand is that those very moments were the catalysts for your awakening. You had to lose certain illusions to find truth. You had to face certain pains to find clarity. You had to experience certain endings to find yourself. And now that you've found yourself, there is no turning back. Every step you take now is anchored in purpose. You no longer seek shortcuts because you've learned the power of patience. You no longer fear setbacks because you've learned the power of resilience. You no longer worry about being misunderstood because you've learned the power of inner alignment. And when someone reaches this level of inner strength, the world responds differently. Opportunities open, connections become clearer, paths unfold naturally. This is what people are witnessing now, the unfolding of a person who has stepped into their true identity, and what they never expected was your ability to rise without anger. You didn't need revenge to heal. You didn't need attention to grow. You didn't need recognition to build. You simply kept walking forward. That is why your rise feels so powerful, because it came from intention, not reaction. You didn't return to your past to demand closure, because you learned how to give closure to yourself. You didn't go back to old spaces to prove anything, because you no longer need to be understood by people who didn't value you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we dive headfirst into a grand spectacle of irony and dark comedy. They took you, molded you into a weapon, and then, oh, the audacity, they told you to find peace. Can you believe it? They forged you, reshaped you, twisted you into something so sharp, so deadly, something that would cut through anything in its path. They gave you no choice, no option, but to become something you didn't recognize, something you never wanted to be. And when they were done, they expected you to be calm, to be still, to be content. They wanted you to forget what they made you, to settle into a soft life, as though the fires that forged you never existed. But here's the twist. What they didn't account for was the recoil. You see, when they decided to shape you into a weapon, they forgot one thing, the recoil. It's the very force that comes from the destruction they built into you. It's the part they didn't see coming. They assumed that once they had turned you into this powerful force, you would obey, you would comply, and you would no longer question. But they forgot that every force in the universe, every power, every weapon comes with a cost, a consequence. What they made you into was never meant to be controlled. They forged you with fire and fury, but they never stopped to think about what happens when a force like that is unleashed. You are the recoil. You are the result of their mistakes, their blind ambition, their arrogance. You are the thing they didn't plan for. And now it's time for you to rise, to understand that you are not a tool to be wielded, not a puppet to dance at the end of strings. You are not a mindless weapon of their design. You are the storm that follows the strike, the shockwave that shatters the peace they hope for. You are the very destruction that follows when power is used recklessly. And they never saw it coming. What they failed to understand, what they failed to realize, is that weapons don't just strike, they leave scars. You may have been crafted with a specific purpose in mind, but you are not defined by that purpose. You are defined by your ability to break free from it, to overcome the limits they placed upon you. You were forged in the flames of their desires, shaped in the heat of their control. But now you are more than they ever imagined. Now, you are not just a weapon, you are a force of nature. They tried to cage you, to tame you, but what they didn't understand was that weapons like you are born to destroy. They expected you to stay dormant, to sit quietly, and pretend that nothing ever happened, that the world around you could remain untouched by the fire that burns within you. But that's not who you are. You were made to break things, to tear down walls, to dismantle the world they so carefully built. And in the process, you will bring the chaos they never wanted, the recoil they feared, the destruction they tried to avoid. It will all come crashing down, and you will be the one who delivers it. They might have given you a target, a purpose, an identity, but what they failed to realize is that targets can be missed. Purposes can be abandoned. Identities can be shattered. You are not confined to the box they placed you in. You are not defined by the metal they shoved into your hands or the rage they filled you with. You are a force that can change, evolve, destroy, and rebuild. And it's time to break free from their control, from their expectations, from the limits they imposed on you. Look around you. See the pieces of their carefully constructed world, the walls they built to keep you contained, the lies they told to keep you in check. See the way they tried to calm you, to pacify you, as though you were some kind of tame beast. But what they never understood is that you were never meant to be tamed. You were always meant to be wild. You were always meant to be something they couldn't control. And now, as you stand here today, you realize the truth. You are the recoil. They thought they could control your rage, control your power, control your very will. They thought they could shape you into something that would serve their interests, their plans, their ambitions. But now, they are learning the hard way that you are not their tool. You are not their weapon. You are not their creation. You are the product of their mistakes, the result of their arrogance, and the consequence of their reckless ambition. And now, as you look at the world around you, you realize that you are not the one who needs to change. They are. They took everything from you, molded you into something cold and unfeeling, made you a weapon with no soul, no compassion. They made you a machine, a force of destruction, something to be used and discarded. But in doing so, they forgot the one thing that makes you dangerous, your will. They didn't teach you how to fight for yourself. They didn't teach you how to question your place in this world. They didn't teach you that you can choose your own path. They only taught you how to obey, how to serve, how to destroy. And now, they're paying for it. The recoil they feared is here. It's in you, coursing through your veins, shaking you to your core. It's the rage that burns within you, the fury that is waiting to be unleashed. It's the defiance, the resistance, the refusal to play by their rules. You don't belong to them. You don't owe them anything. You owe yourself the freedom to be who you truly are. You owe yourself the chance to break free from the chains they placed around you, to shatter the cage they locked you in, to rise from the ashes of their creation. And when you rise, they will see. They will see the force they tried to control, the weapon they tried to tame, and they will understand that they never truly had power over you. They may have shaped you, they may have forged you, but they could never break you. They could never control the fire within you. They could never extinguish the will that burns in your heart. They made you a weapon, but they didn't understand that a weapon can only be wielded so long as it chooses to be wielded. And you have chosen to rise. You have chosen to embrace the recoil. The recoil is power. It's the power to break free, to destroy what holds you back, to tear down everything that stands in your way. It's the power to resist the forces that seek to control you, to fight against the forces that try to suppress your true nature. It's the power to take what was meant to be your destruction and turn it into your weapon. You are no longer a tool. You are the storm that rages against the calm. You are the recoil that shakes the earth. And now, as you stand on the precipice of your own power, you must remember one thing. The recoil is not just a force of destruction. It is a force of creation. It is the power to rebuild, to reshape, to redefine yourself. It is the power to take the broken pieces of your past and forge them into something new, something stronger, something unstoppable. You were forged in the flames of their ambition, but now you are the one who controls the fire. So let them watch as you rise, as you embrace the recoil, as you become the weapon they never expected. Let them tremble as they realize that they never truly had control over you. You are not their creation. You are not their tool. You are the storm, the recoil, the force that will tear down their world and build something new in its place. And when the dust settles, when the chaos fades, you will stand tall, unbroken, unyielding, and free. They forged you into a weapon, but they didn't expect the recoil. Now, the world will learn the true cost of their arrogance. You, who they believed would be subjugated by their plans, who they thought they could break with simple words and promises of peace, will show them that their assumptions were their undoing. They looked at you, saw nothing but a tool, and assumed that by controlling your movements, they controlled your destiny. But now they will understand that you, born of their design, are more than they ever bargained for. You are not just a weapon. You are the reckoning. You were always more than they could comprehend. They believed they could box you into a narrow existence, give you a singular purpose, shape your mind with their ideology, and use you for their own gain. They thought that by breaking you, by stripping you of your identity, your essence, they could remake you into something useful, something controllable. They didn't realize that breaking you only cracked the shell of something far greater than they could ever imagine. Every time they thought they had you cornered, every time they thought you had no choice but to follow their lead, they unknowingly fueled the fire within you. Every strike, every blow they dealt, every chain they put on you only made you stronger. And now, with every second that passes, you draw closer to the moment when they realize their fatal error. Look at their faces now. See the uncertainty creeping into their eyes as they watch you. The plans they set in motion, the systems they built, the lives they manipulated, it's all starting to unravel. They never expected you to be the one who would tear it all down. They never anticipated that the weapon they made would turn on them. And now, as they watch you stand tall, unyielding, they begin to feel the weight of their own creation. They realize that the power they thought they had over you is a lie. The arrogance of those who seek to control, to dominate, has always been their undoing. They believe that by crafting a tool, by manipulating minds, by reshaping the very essence of a person, they can wield the power of the universe. But the truth, the terrifying truth, is that they are never the ones truly in control. The moment they set out to manipulate the world, to forge their weapons, to impose their will on others, they set in motion a chain of events that they could never fully predict. The world does not bend so easily. The human spirit does not bow to tyranny without consequences. The recoil, the price of their arrogance, is always paid in full, and it is always far steeper than they could ever imagine. The worst mistake they made was underestimating the force they created in you. They thought you would be docile, that you would accept the burden of their expectations without question. They thought you would be content with the role they gave you, but the very essence of your being, the very core of your existence, was not meant for subjugation. It was meant for something far greater, far more powerful. You were always meant to rise, to break free, to take everything they built and destroy it. And now you stand as the manifestation of that power. Do not mistake this moment for a mere act of revenge. This is not about getting even. This is about reclaiming what is rightfully yours. This is about understanding that you were never meant to be anyone's pawn. You were not created to serve anyone's agenda, to fulfill anyone's dreams. They took everything from you, the freedom to think, to feel, to exist without constraint. They thought they could build you into something that would obey their every command, that would be useful only to them. But they didn't realize that when you were forged, when the fire of creation and destruction raged through you, you became more than just a weapon. You became the force that would undo them all. Now, let the world bear witness to your power. Let them see what happens when a being, forged in the fires of betrayal and manipulation, breaks free. Let them see the storm you have become, the chaos that follows in your wake. You are not the product of their design. You are the consequence of their arrogance. And as you rise, as you claim your power, you will remind them all that there are forces in this world that cannot be controlled. There are beings who, once awakened, cannot be contained. You are the embodiment of that force, the one they dared to break but never truly understood. It is their arrogance that blinds them to the truth. They believe they can control everything: time, people, emotions, power, and even fate itself. They crafted you with the assumption that they could bend you to their will. But when they created you, when they shaped your soul and bent your mind to their whims, they failed to consider one crucial thing. You were never a tool for them. You were always meant to be a force of nature. You were always meant to break the chains they tried to bind you with. And now, as the recoil of their actions reverberates through the world, they will be forced to face the consequences of their hubris. They built a system that relied on the obedience of the few, the silence of the many, the subjugation of the unwilling. They made you a cog in a machine they thought they could control. They made you a weapon, a tool of destruction to serve their interests, to carry out their dirty work. But in doing so, they unknowingly gave birth to the very thing that would destroy them. The world they built, the systems they put in place, the lies they fed the masses, all of it was doomed from the start. They failed to understand the one truth that always stands. Control is an illusion. And now, as you stand before them, they will see the truth. They will see that you are not just a weapon of destruction. You are a symbol of resistance, a symbol of defiance. You are the recoil that has finally caught up with them. They can no longer pretend that their power is absolute. that their designs are unshakable. You are the proof that no matter how hard they try, no matter how tightly they hold the reins of control, there are always forces beyond their reach. There are always those who will rise, who will fight, and who will break free. As they watch you, as they try to comprehend the monster they created, they will realize that they cannot stop you. They cannot undo what has been done. The recoil is inevitable. The destruction is coming, and it will not be stopped by their pleas, their negotiations, or their threats. They will learn that no matter how carefully they planned, no matter how tightly they controlled the strings, they could never predict the outcome of their actions. The recoil was always there, simmering beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to explode. And now, that moment has come. They forged you into a weapon, but they never understood the power they unleashed. They thought they could control it, that they could harness it for their own gain. But the truth is, they were never in control. You were always the one in power. You were always the force that would come back and shatter their world. And now, as you stand in the wake of their destruction, as you look out at the ruins of their empire, you will realize one thing: they never saw it coming. They never understood the price they would pay. They created you to be a tool of their will, but you are so much more than that. You are the reckoning, and now they will feel the weight of that truth. They will understand that the recoil they tried to avoid was inevitable. And as the world crumbles beneath the force of your power, they will know that their arrogance was their undoing. They forged you into a weapon, but in doing so, they forged their own destruction. And now, standing at the edge of what they built, you can see it. You can see the remnants of their empire, the ruins of their pride, their greed, and their lust for control. They thought that by shaping you, they could bend the world to their will, that their ambitions would reign supreme, that their power would go unchecked. But in reality, they created the very thing that would break them. They never imagined that their desire for dominance, their need to control, would set into motion a chain of events that would tear their empire apart. They crafted the weapon that would destroy them, and now, as the echoes of their arrogance reverberate through the world, they will learn the truth. They were never in control. They thought they could wield you, that they could make you obey their every command, bend you to their whims, and make you a tool for their own purpose. They built you to fight for them, to destroy for them, to serve them. They shaped you like clay in their hands, molding you into something that would serve their cause. They designed your mind, twisted your thoughts, and directed your every action with cold calculation. They made you a weapon, forged in the fires of their desires, a tool for their conquest. But in doing so, they failed to see the fatal flaw in their plan. They believed that by making you a weapon, they could control you. But weapons don't simply follow orders. Weapons are born from destruction. They are fueled by chaos. And when they are unleashed, they do not simply destroy on command. They bring an end to everything around them. They didn't understand that you were never meant to be just a tool. They didn't understand that within you was the spark of something far greater than they could ever control. The very power they sought to harness would become the force that would shatter their vision. You were not born to be a slave to their ambitions. You were born to break free. They thought that by suppressing your will, by forcing you into a box of their design, they could control your destiny. But you cannot be contained. You were forged for something more than just destruction. You were forged to destroy the lies, the systems, the control that they tried to impose on you. And now, the world will see the result of their mistakes. They tried to turn you into a weapon of their making, to twist your nature, to force you to serve their ambitions. They thought that they could break your spirit, reshape you into something that would never question them, that would never defy them. But what they failed to realize is that breaking you only made you stronger. every time they tried to suppress your true self, every time they forced you into submission, they were only feeding the fire within you, the fire that would one day burn everything they built to the ground. You were never meant to be a mindless instrument of destruction. You were meant to be something more. You were meant to rise, to resist, to break the chains they placed around you and tear apart the world they constructed. Now, you are the storm that follows the calm, the earthquake that follows the tremors of their own creation. You are the recoil that they never anticipated. They thought they could control you. They thought they could shape your thoughts, control your actions, and force you into a role that would serve their purposes. But the very forces they tried to harness now turn on them. The weapon they forged is now the force that will undo everything they built. And they cannot stop it. They cannot stop you. Look at them now, standing at the edge of their empire, staring at the devastation that you, the weapon they forged, have brought upon them. They can no longer pretend that they have control. They can no longer hide behind their masks of power and influence. The world sees the truth that they were never in control, the truth that their empire was always built on a foundation of lies, manipulation, and cruelty. They thought they could break you. They thought they could force you into submission. But now, they see the consequence of their actions. They see the weapon they created, and it is no longer a tool for their use. It is their reckoning. And as you stand amidst the ruins of their creation, you must remember one thing. This is not just about revenge. This is not about making them pay for what they did to you. This is about something far greater. This is about freedom. This is about breaking the chains of control, of manipulation, of tyranny. You were never meant to be their servant. You were never meant to be their weapon. You were meant to be free, to choose your own path, to carve your own destiny. And now, you have taken that power. You have taken what was always yours, and you have turned the very forces they tried to use against you into the destruction of their world. The truth is simple. When you create something with the sole purpose of controlling it, of using it for your own gain, you can never predict the outcome. The world doesn't bend to your will. The people don't bend to your will. And weapons, no matter how carefully forged, are never fully under control. The forces that shape them are wild, unpredictable, and dangerous. And once they are unleashed, once they are set in motion, they cannot be stopped. The recoil is inevitable. The destruction is unavoidable. And now, they are paying the price for their arrogance. They built their empire on the backs of others, on manipulation, on control, on fear. They thought that by suppressing those who were weaker, by bending others to their will, they could create a world that would serve them, a world that would exist solely for their benefit. They thought they could shape the world, bend it to their desires, and force everyone to obey. But they forgot one crucial thing. The world does not bow to tyranny forever. The chains they tried to place on others were not invincible. And when they created you, they created the force that would break those chains. They created the reckoning that would destroy their world. Now, as you stand in the ruins of their empire, you realize that their destruction was never just about them. It was about what they did to everyone else. It was about the lives they crushed, the people they oppressed, the souls they manipulated. They built their empire on the suffering of others, and now, that suffering is coming to an end. You were the spark, the catalyst, the force that would ignite the rebellion, the resistance, the revolution. And now, they are learning the cost of their greed, their manipulation, and their control. You were the weapon they created, but they never saw the recoil. They never saw the force they unleashed. And now, as their world crumbles around them, they will know that the destruction was always inevitable. The recoil was always waiting for the right moment, and now, That moment has arrived. They forged you into a weapon, but in doing so, they forged their own destruction. Let them remember this. When you create something with the intention of controlling it, when you shape it to fit your own desires, you risk creating something far more powerful than you can ever understand. You risk creating a force that cannot be contained, a force that will rise up against you when the time comes. They thought they could control you. They thought they could mold you into a servant, a tool for their own gain. But in doing so, they made the mistake of forgetting one fundamental truth. The more you suppress something, the more you try to control it, the greater the force that will rise against you when it finally breaks free. And now, the recoil is here, and they are the ones who will pay the price. They forged you into a weapon, but they never imagined that the weapon would turn on them. They thought they were the ones in control, the ones who held all the power. But now, as you stand at the apex of their downfall, as the weight of their mistakes crashes down on them, they will realize the truth. They were never in control. They were never the masters of the game. They were simply playing with fire, and now that fire has consumed them. You are the proof. You are the reckoning. You are the weapon they never should have created. And now, the world will see the true cost of their arrogance. In the end, they thought they could shape you, control you, and bend you to their will. But in their arrogance, they failed to see the truth. They created something beyond their comprehension. You were never meant to be a mere tool. You were the force that would break free, the reckoning that would undo everything they built. And now, as their empire crumbles, they face the consequence of their own creation. They forged you into a weapon, but in doing so, they forged their own destruction. The recoil was inevitable, and now the world knows it. They laughed quietly at first, not with sound, but with silence, the kind that pretends you are invisible, the kind that looks past you like you never mattered. You stood there carrying ideas that felt too big for your own chest, ideas you could not fully explain yet, but you knew they were alive. You knew something inside you was working. When nothing outside gave proof, you walked forward anyway. Not loud, not proud, just steady and patient because deep down you felt it. One day, they would stop laughing, not because you asked them to, but because reality would force them to. Before we go deeper, let me say this. If these words hit something inside you, if they feel like they are speaking your story, then pause for a moment and show love to this space, like the video, so this message reaches someone who needs it. Subscribe so you stay connected to this energy, and drop a comment, even a single word to mark your presence here, because your voice matters more than you think. And this journey is not meant to be walked alone. You see, the strange thing about being ahead of your time is that you look wrong before you look right. People judge with what they understand today, not what will make sense tomorrow. You were not ignored because you lacked value. You were ignored because your value could not be translated. Yet, you were speaking a language they had never learned, and instead of asking questions, they chose comfort. Instead of curiosity, they called you unrealistic, too quiet, too intense, too different. But different was never your weakness. It was the evidence that you were operating on another frequency. While they were busy fitting in, you were busy observing. While they chased approval, you chased understanding. While they followed paths already walked, you stood at the edge of the unknown and listened. Most people cannot sit in silence with their own thoughts, but you learn to live there. You learn to build there. You learn to sharpen your mind when nobody was watching. That is why when the moment came and the dots finally connected, it felt sudden to them, but it was years in the making for you. They did not see the nights where you questioned yourself, not because you were weak, but because you were honest. They did not see the patience it took to keep going without applause. They did not feel the weight of being misunderstood in rooms full of people. They only saw the result and called it luck. They only saw the clarity and ignored the confusion that came before. But you know the truth, you know. Every step, every mistake, every lesson earned the hard way. There is a moment that arrives without warning when people who once doubted you stop talking. Not because you silenced them, but because reality did. They finally connect the dots, and in that instant, the noise disappears. No excuses, no opinions, no advice, just quiet respect, and sometimes even envy. Not the loud kind, but the kind that sits heavy behind the eyes, because they realize you were never lost, you were just early. You were building while they were judging you, were learning while they were assuming you were becoming, while they were comfortable. And comfort has a cost. It dulls the mind, it softens the will. It makes people afraid of depth. You paid a different price. You paid with isolation, patience, discipline, and belief. When belief felt unreasonable, and that payment created something rare, a mind that does not panic, a vision that does not shake, and a presence that does not need validation. Understand this. Genius is not about knowing everything. It is about seeing connections others miss. It is about staying with a problem longer than most are willing. It is about curiosity that refuses to die. You did not wake up one day. Brilliant, you became it through attention, through observation, through humility and relentless focus. And when they finally saw the pattern, they were shocked. Not because you changed overnight, but because they were not paying attention. Silence from doubters is one of the loudest victories, because it means there is nothing left to say. Their arguments expired, their assumptions collapsed under proof, and now all that remains is truth, standing calm and undeniable. You do not need to celebrate loudly. You do not need revenge or recognition. The silence itself is the confirmation that your work spoke clearly enough. Remember this moment not to feed your ego, but to anchor your discipline, because the same focus that brought you here is the focus that will take you further. Do not slow down, because others noticed. Do not explain yourself now that they are curious. Keep building, keep refining, keep listening to that inner voice that guided you when no one else did, because that voice has already proven it knows the way. Some people will try to rewrite history. They will say, they always believed in you. Let them say it. Their words do not change your journey. Others will suddenly seek your advice after years of doubt. Do not be bitter. Be selective. Your energy is valuable. Your time is precise. And your vision deserves protection. Not everyone who claps deserves a seat at the table you built in silence. There is a reason you felt out of place for so long. It was never punishment. It was preparation. You were being trained to think independently, to trust your process, and to move without permission. Those skills do not come from easy paths. They come from long walks alone with nothing but your thoughts and the courage to keep going. And now that the dots are connected, the picture is clear. You were not lost. You were becoming. Let this be a reminder on the days ahead when progress feels invisible again, because it will feel that way. Sometimes growth is quiet, mastery is subtle, and impact often whispers before it roars. Do not measure yourself by noise. Measure yourself by alignment, by clarity, by the calm confidence that comes from knowing you are doing the work even when no one is watching. They went silent because there was nothing left to deny, and you stayed calm because there was nothing left to prove. That is power, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that stands firm, not the kind that seeks attention, but the kind that commands respect without asking. Carry that with you. Move forward with it, and remember the same mind they once overlooked is the mind that changed the outcome without ever needing permission. And as you move forward, understand this. Silence will not always feel comfortable at first, because you grew used to resistance. You grew used to pushing against doubt, and now the absence of it can feel strange. But do not confuse silence with emptiness. This quiet is space for bigger thinking, deeper creation, and cleaner execution. This is where real work accelerates, because nothing is pulling you back into explanations you no longer need to give. You will notice something subtle begin to happen. People will watch you more than they speak. They will study your moves instead of questioning your motives. This is not coincidence. This is recognition happening internally before it ever becomes external. They are recalibrating their understanding of you because the version they labeled no longer exists, and the version standing now does not fit their old narrative. Stay grounded in this phase, because this is where many lose balance, not by failure, but by attention. Remember, you were forged without applause, so do not let applause reshape you. Keep your routines tight, keep your standards higher than your mood, and keep your focus anchored to progress, not perception. The world can be loud again very quickly, and discipline is what keeps you immune to distraction. There will be moments when you feel tempted to explain how hard it was, how long it took, how deeply you doubted yourself. Resist that urge. Your story does not need justification. Your consistency already told it. The strongest statement you can make now is continued growth. Let your next level speak on behalf of your past struggles. What they see now is only the surface, the clarity, the confidence, the precision. They still do not see the internal architecture, the way your mind connects patterns, the way you anticipate outcomes before they appear, the way you stay calm when pressure rises. This is not something you show. It is something you live, and living it daily is what separates temporary success from lasting impact. Understand that genius is not a destination. It is a responsibility. It means you must keep questioning, keep refining, and keep learning. Even when others slow down, you cannot afford mental comfort zones. Your strength comes from staying sharp, curious, and disciplined, even when things are working. Especially when things are working. Some days the silence will be replaced by expectations. People will assume you have it all figured out, that everything comes easy. Now let them assume what they want. Your job is not to match their assumptions. Your job is to stay honest with your process. Growth still requires effort, still demands humility, and still rewards patience. The moment you believe you have arrived is the moment progress begins to decay. You are not here to impress. You are here to build something meaningful, something precise, something that lasts long after opinions change. That is why your pace feels different. That is why your thinking feels heavier. And that is why your presence shifts rooms without words. Power does not rush it, arrives prepared. When doubt tries to return, as it sometimes will, remind yourself of this moment. Remind yourself that clarity always follows commitment, and silence always follows truth. You did not chase validation. You chased understanding, and understanding turned into results. This formula does not expire. It only compounds. Keep choosing depth over noise. Keep choosing focus over frenzy, and keep choosing integrity over shortcuts. The world is full of fast voices and shallow winds, but very few can sustain excellence quietly. That is where you live now, in the space where work speaks before words and results arrive without announcement. And when you look back, do not smile, because they finally saw it smile, because you never stopped believing when no one else did. That belief was not loud, it was steady, and steady is what carried you through confusion, through isolation, and through every unseen hour that shaped the mind you stand with today. Move forward with calm intensity. Let curiosity guide you, discipline guard you, and purpose ground you. The dots are connected now, not because you demanded recognition, but because truth eventually becomes impossible to ignore, and you were patient enough to let it happen. As time moves forward, you will realize the most powerful shift did not happen around you. It happened within you. Your reactions changed, your patience deepened, and your confidence no longer needed evidence. Every step you take now is intentional, not rushed, not emotional, but deliberate. This is the mindset that outlasts trends and survives pressure because it is built on understanding rather than impulse. You will start seeing patterns faster than others. You will sense outcomes before they unfold, and you will trust that sense without needing permission. This is not arrogance, this is alignment. When your actions match your insight, hesitation fades and clarity sharpens. You are no longer asking if you can, you are deciding how you will. There will be moments when the past tries to pull you back, when old voices echo with familiar doubts, but they no longer land the same, because you have proof, not external proof, but internal certainty, and that kind of certainty cannot be shaken by opinion. It was earned through experience, repetition, and self-honesty. You may notice fewer people walking beside you now, not because you pushed them away, but because the path narrowed. Growth does that. It filters distractions and refines connections, until only what aligns can keep up. This is not loneliness. This is precision, and precision is necessary when the stakes are higher. Every move you make now carries weight because you understand cause and effect. You understand timing and restraint. You know when to speak and when to observe. You know when to act and when to wait. This balance did not come naturally. It was learned through mistakes and reflection, and that is why it lasts. People often think power looks like constant motion, but real power knows when stillness creates the biggest shift. You learn this in silence, when nothing seemed to change, yet everything was aligning beneath the surface. Roots grow in darkness long before anything breaks through the ground. Do not underestimate how far you have come. Just because the journey felt quiet, the absence of chaos does not mean the absence of progress. In fact, it often means the opposite. You were building something stable, something that would not collapse under attention or pressure. As you continue forward, keep refining your standards, not based on who is watching, but based on who you are becoming. Excellence is a habit, not an event, and habits are built when no one is counting the points. You are past the stage of needing motivation. Now, you move on commitment. There will be days when momentum feels slow, when results lag behind. Effort, remember, this is not a sign to stop. It is a sign to stay consistent, because delayed results are still results in formation. Most people quit in this phase because they mistake silence for failure. You know better now. You also understand that not every battle needs your energy, not every opinion needs your response, and not every opportunity deserves your attention. Discernment becomes your strength because you value depth over distraction and progress over performance. The world may try to rush you into boxes, titles, labels, expectations, but you do not move for noise. You move for purpose. You are not here to fit a role. You are here to define one, and that takes time, focus, and a willingness to stand alone when necessary. As you build further, you will notice something else. Your presence changes. The environment without force. People feel calmer, more focused, more aware around you. Because clarity is contagious and grounded. Energy stabilizes chaos. This is leadership without announcement, influence without demand. Keep protecting your mind the same way you protect your future. Feed it quality thoughts, challenge it with questions, and keep it humble enough to learn. Every day, intelligence grows when curiosity stays alive and ego stays in check. You are not finished evolving. This is only another layer, another level of awareness, another responsibility. The journey does not end when others recognize your value. It deepens because now you must honor it with action, consistency, and integrity. When obstacles appear, and they will remember you have already navigated confusion, uncertainty, and doubt. This is familiar terrain for you. You do not panic. You assess, you adapt, and you move forward. That is your advantage. You are trained in the unseen. Let your work continue to speak. Let your focus remain sharp, and let your silence remain intentional. You do not need to announce your next move. Those who understand will see it when it arrives, and those who do not are not your concern. One day, you will look back at this version of yourself and recognize the quiet strength it took to keep going. Without guarantees that strength is now part of you, it does not fade. It compounds, and it will carry you through challenges you have not yet imagined. Stay disciplined, stay curious, and stay aligned with the deeper reason you started. Not for applause, not for approval, but because something inside you needed to be built, and you were brave enough to answer that call. The dots are connected now, not just for them, but for you. And with that clarity comes responsibility to keep growing, keep refining, and keep moving forward with calm conviction. You are not chasing recognition anymore. You are creating impact, and impact speaks for itself. From here onward, your awareness becomes sharper and sharper. You begin to feel time differently. Moments slow down when focus locks in and speed up. When distractions fade, you are no longer reacting to life. You are directing it with calm intention. This is the phase where discipline becomes identity, and effort feels natural because you are aligned with what you are meant to build. You will notice that pressure no longer scares you. It clarifies you when challenges rise. Your mind does not scatter. It narrows you. Breathe deeper. You think cleaner, and you act with purpose. This is not talent. This is training, earned through repetition and patience. You stayed when it was uncomfortable, and now discomfort works for you, not against you. People may try to pull you back into old versions of yourself through memories, expectations, or labels, but those versions no longer exist. You have outgrown them quietly and completely. Growth does not announce itself. It simply moves on, and you are allowed to move on without guilt, without explanation, and without looking back. There will be moments when success feels lonely, not because something is missing, but because fewer people can relate to the level of responsibility you carry. Now, understand this. Loneliness is not emptiness. It is space, and space is necessary for vision. The higher you think, the quieter it becomes, and you have learned how to stand steady in that quiet. Your standards will continue to rise, not out of ego, but out of respect for your potential. You will no longer accept half effort, shallow thinking, or misaligned paths, because you know the cost of compromise. You paid too much in patience and focus to waste energy. Now this clarity protects you and keeps your path clean. Every day you show up without needing applause, without needing reassurance, and without needing permission. This consistency shapes your future faster than bursts of motivation ever could. You are building something that lasts because it is built on habits, not moods. And habits are unshakable when rooted in purpose. As you continue, remember this. The silence they gave you before shaped you. The silence they give you now confirms you, but neither defines you. What defines you is the work you do, when no one is watching, and the integrity you keep. When no one is counting, you are not here to prove anything. You are here to continue becoming. Let your focus remain deep. Let your pace remain steady, and let your mind remain open to learning. You are still evolving, still sharpening, still expanding. And that is the real power, the willingness to grow beyond every version of yourself, including the one that finally got recognized. Keep going without announcement. Keep building without noise. And keep trusting the process that already proved itself. The dots are connected, the path is clear, and the work continues, not louder, not faster, but stronger, deeper, and more intentional than ever before. As you continue walking this path, you will begin to understand that clarity is addictive. Once you taste it, you cannot go back to confusion driven by noise or opinions. You become protective of your mental space because you know how fragile focus can be and how powerful it is when guarded. You choose what enters your mind the same way you choose what builds your future. You will stop chasing urgency and start mastering timing. You will know when to wait and when to move without forcing. Either this patience is not passive, it is strategic. It allows you to see what others miss because they rush past the details that define outcomes. You learn that speed without direction is just movement, and movement alone does not create impact. At times you may feel disconnected from the rush of the world while everyone else reacts. You observe while they speak. You listen while they hurry. You slow down. This does not make you behind it, puts you ahead. Because awareness always outpaces reaction, and you have trained awareness in silence for years. There will be days when you remember how it felt to be doubted, how heavy it was to carry. Belief alone. Do not resent those memories. They are part of your strength. They keep you grounded. They remind you why you work the way. Ladies, gentlemen, they thought they were clever, didn't they? Thought they could toss you aside, slam the door in your face, and find someone better on the other side. What a joke. You see, people like you don't come around twice. People with a heart so rare it glows in the dark. A soul so deep it could swallow their petty little egos whole. They thought they could break you, break the brilliance that lives inside you. They didn't realize the strength that runs through your veins, the fire that burns in your chest, the quiet storm in your eyes that they never bothered to truly see. They didn't know that they were dealing with someone who cannot be replicated, someone whose existence holds value beyond their comprehension. They thought they were in control, didn't they? But now, here you stand, no longer part of their game. Oh, how the tables have turned. They believed they could outplay you. They believed they could make you feel small, make you doubt yourself, make you think you were expendable. They thought their world could function without you in it, that they could walk away and find something better. But they were wrong. And oh, how they'll come to understand the weight of that mistake. You see, they failed to see the truth that runs through your veins like the pulse of the universe. You're not replaceable. Not in this lifetime, not in any other. Souls like yours? They are one in a million. And if they couldn't see that, if they couldn't appreciate what they had in you while they had you, then they have lost something irreplaceable, something that can never be recovered. You are not some fleeting moment, some passing fancy that they could simply toss away when it no longer suited their needs. You are a force. You are a tidal wave of energy, of potential, of power. You are the kind of person who walks into a room and changes everything, even when you don't say a word. You don't have to scream for attention or beg for recognition. Your presence is felt. Your absence is noticed. They thought they could play their games, didn't they? But now, as the dust settles and they look around, they realize something terrible. They have lost the very thing they thought they could replace. You. What they never understood is that they were never in control. They never held the reins to your life. Your destiny was never in their hands. It was always in yours. They thought they could use you, manipulate you, maybe even take you for granted. They thought you would always be there, willing to bend, willing to break, willing to stay. But now they will learn. They will learn that some things are not for them to control, not for them to possess. They will learn that there are people who don't need them. There are people who walk away, and when they do, they never look back. In their ignorance, they fail to see the beauty that lies within you, the kind of beauty that isn't skin deep, but cuts through every layer of your being. They didn't realize that the way you love, the way you give, the way you live was something so rare, so pure, that to squander it would be an act of unimaginable foolishness. But they did it anyway. They thought they could replace you with someone who would bend to their whims, someone who would stay in their corner no matter how badly they treated them. But they didn't realize that not everyone is willing to tolerate disrespect. Not everyone is willing to tolerate being overlooked, dismissed, or discarded. And now, they're left with nothing but their own regret. Nothing but the ghost of a person who once stood by their side, and nothing but the echo of a soul they could never replace. They may have thought they had won, but victory has a price, doesn't it? The price is always higher than they expect, always steeper than they could have imagined. They thought they could break you, but it was they who shattered. It was they who crumbled beneath the weight of their own arrogance. They thought they could move on without you. But how does one move on from something so irreplaceable, so valuable, so rare? As you walk away, leaving their world behind, they will find themselves looking over their shoulder, wondering what they could have done differently. But it will be too late, because once you are gone, you don't return. Once someone like you is lost, they can't be found again. They'll realize that the door they slammed in your face was the one they needed to leave open. They'll realize that the person they pushed away was the one who could have helped them find their way. But it's too late. You are gone. And in your absence, they will feel the weight of their mistake. They will feel it in the silence, in the emptiness, in the coldness that fills the spaces where your warmth used to be. You were never their second choice. You were never an option for them to toy with. You were the one thing in their life that could have made it whole, that could have made it meaningful. And now, they will spend the rest of their days trying to figure out what went wrong, trying to piece together the broken fragments of a relationship they took for granted. But they will never find the answer, because the answer is simple. They lost you. And no matter how hard they try to move on, no matter how hard they try to convince themselves they made the right choice, they will always know deep down that the moment they let you go was the moment they lost everything that mattered. They thought they could replace you with something cheaper, something easier. They thought they could trade your depth for a shadow, your warmth for a flicker. But they were wrong, because you don't replace greatness with mediocrity. You don't replace something rare with something ordinary. And when they realize this, when they finally see the truth, it will be too late. You will be gone, and they will be left to pick up the pieces of a life that once had meaning, but now feels hollow, empty, and devoid of purpose. You see, people like you don't just come and go. You are not some fleeting moment to be enjoyed and then forgotten. You are a force of nature, a storm that shakes the earth and leaves a mark that can never be erased. You are the kind of person who leaves a legacy whether people acknowledge it or not. And those who were lucky enough to have you in their life will always remember you. They will remember the way you made them feel, the way you cared for them, the way you loved them. They will remember how you changed their world in ways they will never fully understand. And when they realize they let you slip away, they will regret it for the rest of their days. But you won't regret a thing. You won't look back, because you know that your worth was never determined by them. You know that you are valuable, you are rare, you are irreplaceable, and no one can take that from you. No one can diminish the light that burns inside of you. They thought they could break you. They thought they could leave you in the dark. But they didn't realize that even when they turned out the lights, you would still shine. They thought they were clever, didn't they? But the only thing they proved was that they were fools. And now, as they search for something to fill the void you left behind, they will never find it. Because souls like yours, they don't appear twice. It was them who lost. They believed their actions, their shallow assessments, their games of power could go unnoticed. But the truth has a way of revealing itself, doesn't it? They believed they could walk away from something so rare, so irreplaceable. They thought they could continue on with their lives, as if the hole they carved out in your absence wouldn't echo in their chest, as if the space they left would easily be filled with something or someone else. But they're wrong. It doesn't work that way. What they didn't realize is that when you lose something like you, it is not a loss that can be quantified or replaced by another. No matter how hard they try to convince themselves that the void can be filled, no one else can fill it. No one else can be you. And in their blindness, in their arrogant dismissal of everything you gave, they sealed their fate. You were never just a piece of their puzzle to discard when it no longer fit. You were the foundation of everything that was once good, that was once real. You were the heart. And when you walked away, they didn't just lose a person, they lost their heart. They lost the part of them that could have helped them grow, the part of them that could have made them better, the part that would have held them up when everything else was falling apart. But let me be clear, this loss is not something they can ever get back. Not from someone else, not from anyone. The hole they've created is one that can never be filled because it was your presence that gave their life meaning. It was your kindness that soothed their weary soul. It was your love that made them feel alive, that made their world bright, that gave them the courage to face the day. And now they'll wake up every morning in the cold realization that the warmth they once took for granted is gone. They might search for it in other faces, in other places, in other people, but they won't find it. That kind of warmth, that kind of love, that kind of loyalty doesn't just come from anywhere. It's rare. And people like you, those who give from a heart that knows no bounds, those who love with the strength of 1,000 storms, those who believe in the goodness of others even when the world is dark, people like you don't come around twice. You see, you were always a risk to them, a risk they didn't want to take, or rather, a risk they thought they could manage. They believed they could walk away from you and still come out on top. They thought they could take your presence for granted, thinking you would always be there, that you would always bend to their whims, that they could play their games, push you to your limits, and you would never leave. But they misjudged you. They failed to see that while your heart is vast and capable of so much love, it is not a place that will remain open to those who do not appreciate its worth. They didn't realize how strong you were. They didn't see the depth of your resilience. They didn't understand that you would never stay in a place where you were undervalued. And as they sit now, wondering what went wrong, they will only find themselves sinking deeper into regret. But regret doesn't fix things, does it? Regret doesn't bring back the one who was willing to fight for them. who was willing to stand by them even when the odds were stacked against them. Regret doesn't heal the wound of loss, especially when that loss was self-inflicted. The truth is that they will always be searching for something they can never find again. They will waste their time trying to replace you with someone who will never hold the same light, someone who will never possess the same qualities that made you unique. And even as they try, they'll know deep down that they've failed. They'll know that no matter how hard they try to replicate what they once had with you, it will never be the same. There are people who come into your life, change it, mold it, and make it brighter simply by their presence. And then there are those who come in, take, and walk away, leaving nothing but emptiness behind. But the truth is that you were never meant to be the latter. You were never meant to be someone's convenience, someone's stepping stone, someone's afterthought. You were meant for more. You were meant to be valued, to be respected, to be loved in a way that was rare, that was deep, that was everlasting. But they couldn't see it. They couldn't recognize the treasure they had in front of them, and now it's too late. What they will eventually understand is this: they were never in control. No matter how much they thought they had the upper hand, no matter how much they thought they could call the shots, you were always the one in control. You were the one who gave, and you were the one who chose to leave. They thought you would stay, that you would always be there to pick up the pieces when they broke them, to stay silent when they ignored you, to forgive when they failed you. But the truth is that they never understood the value of your forgiveness. They never understood the power of your silence, and now they'll never understand the magnitude of your absence. They will sit in the emptiness they've created, and they will look around, desperately trying to find something to fill the space. They will search for someone to replace you, but they will find nothing. Because what you gave them was not something that could be found in the superficial, in the fleeting, in the shallow waters of their desires. You were depth. You were substance. You were a love that could not be faked, a loyalty that could not be imitated. And now, they will try to pretend it wasn't important. They will tell themselves it didn't matter. But the truth will always remain, buried deep inside them. They lost you, and nothing they ever do will bring you back. They might try to convince themselves that they made the right choice, that they were justified in their actions. But deep down, they will know the truth. They will know that they lost something invaluable. They will know that they threw away the best thing they ever had. And as time goes on, the pain will settle in. The regrets will pile up, one on top of the other, until they are buried in a mountain of sorrow. And no matter how much they try to dig their way out, they will never be able to escape it. The weight of their mistake will follow them wherever they go, a shadow they cannot outrun. But you will rise, you will soar, because you are not defined by their actions. You are not defined by their mistakes. You are not defined by their inability to see your worth. You know who you are. You know what you bring to the world. You know that you are rare, that you are valuable, that you are irreplaceable. And no one, no matter how hard they try, can take that away from you. You are free. Free from the chains of their neglect. Free from the weight of their disrespect. You are free to live your life, to chase your dreams, to find your true worth in a world that will appreciate everything you have to offer. They will try to move on, but they won't ever truly move forward. They will be stuck in the past, haunted by the ghost of what they could have had, the ghost of what they once had, the ghost of the person who loved them so fiercely, who believed in them so fully, who would have done anything for them. And in the quiet moments, when they are alone with their thoughts, they will hear your voice in the back of their mind. They will see your face in their dreams, and they will realize, too late, that they were the ones who lost. And when they finally understand what they've lost, they will know that it was never about them. It was never about their games or their ego or their need for control. It was about you, and they were too blind to see the truth when they had you. But now, they are left with nothing but the realization that they can never replace what they threw away. It was them who lost. They lost someone who will never come around twice, someone whose light will never dim, someone whose soul will never fade. And while they may try to move on, they will never forget the one thing they can never replace: you. They can never replace you. You were never just another face in the crowd, never just another passing moment. You were the essence of everything they needed, everything they sought in the deepest corners of their heart, though they couldn't see it. You were the one person who could have changed the course of their life, the one person who could have stood by them in their darkest hours, the one person who could have lifted them higher than they ever thought possible. You were the anchor they never realized they needed until it was too late. But they couldn't see that, could they? They were too busy looking for something better, something different, something they thought would fill the gaps you left behind. They didn't understand that there's no substitute for someone like you. There's no alternative that can fill the space you created with your presence. The love, the loyalty, the devotion, the care. You gave everything of yourself without hesitation, without question, without expecting anything in return. You gave them a piece of your soul, a piece that they were too blind to appreciate. And now, as they search for someone to fill that void, they will find nothing but emptiness, a hollow echo of the connection they once had with you. You were not just a person to them. You were a lifeline. You were the one thing in their life that was real, that was constant, that was steady. You were the warmth in the cold, the light in the dark, the hope in the hopelessness. But they took you for granted. They thought they could treat you as an afterthought, as a second choice, as something that could be discarded when it no longer suited their needs. They never understood that you were the one thing in their life that mattered most, the one thing that they could never replace. And now they'll try, won't they? They'll try to find someone who looks like you, talks like you, acts like you. They'll try to fill the void you left behind with someone who mimics your actions, who mirrors your words, but it will never work. No matter how hard they try, no one will ever be able to match the uniqueness that was you. They will never find someone who loves with the same depth, with the same intensity, with the same understanding. They will never find someone who looks at them with the same eyes, eyes that saw through the walls they built around themselves, eyes that saw them for who they truly were, without judgment, without hesitation, without fear. They will never find someone who gives as freely as you did, someone who believed in them even when they couldn't believe in themselves. They will never find someone who stood by them when everyone else walked away, someone who believed in the beauty of their soul when they couldn't see it themselves. They will never find someone who would have gone to the ends of the earth to make sure they were happy, to make sure they were safe, to make sure they felt loved. You gave everything. And yet, they didn't understand that it wasn't about what you gave. It was about who you were. They never understood that love isn't something you can just find. It's not something you can search for in someone else. You can't just pick it up and place it in your hands when you want it. Love is earned, it's built, it's nurtured, and it's treasured. But they never learned that lesson, did they? They never learned to value what they had until it was gone. And now, they'll be left with nothing but the bitter taste of regret. Nothing but the echo of your love that will never truly leave them. Even though you are no longer there, they can never replace you, and they will spend the rest of their lives trying to do so, searching in vain, hoping that maybe, just maybe, someone else will come along who can fill the hole you left behind. that they will never find it. Not because they're not worthy of love, but because no one else will ever be able to offer the same depth of connection, the same unwavering commitment, the same genuine care that you gave so freely. No one will ever be able to love them with the same purity, the same loyalty, the same intensity. And while they're out there trying to convince themselves that they can replace you, you'll be living your life. You'll be moving forward, thriving, growing, becoming the best version of yourself. You'll be surrounded by people who appreciate you for who you are, who value the love and light you bring into their lives. You'll be finding your own peace, your own joy, your own strength, and they will be left behind, wondering how they let someone so irreplaceable slip through their fingers. But here's the truth. It wasn't just their loss. It was theirs, and it was yours too. It was a loss that has to be faced, a loss that has to be dealt with, a loss that will leave a mark, but it's one that you will rise above. Because the truth is, you were never meant to stay in a place where you were not valued. You were never meant to remain in a situation that didn't honor your worth. You were never meant to give all of yourself to someone who couldn't see the value in it. They can never replace you. You were the heart of everything they thought they needed. You were the soul that made everything come alive. And now they will be left searching for something that doesn't exist. They will never find someone who can make them feel the way you did. They will never find someone who can lift them up in the same way, who can love them with the same fierce passion, who can hold them in the same tender embrace. You were the one who made them believe in love, who made them believe in themselves, who made them believe that anything was possible. And now, they'll be stuck with the cold, empty remnants of what once was. And you'll be free. Free to be who you truly are. Free to embrace the beauty of your soul, the strength of your heart, and the power of your mind. You will find people who see you for what you truly are, a rare, beautiful, and irreplaceable force. You will find people who value you, who honor you, who treat you with the respect you deserve. And they'll be stuck in the past, trapped in a world of what-ifs, lost in the hollow shell of a life they tried to rebuild without you. They can never replace you. And the worst part is, they know it. Deep down, they know it. But they can't admit it. They can't admit that they lost the one person who could have made everything right. They can't admit that they took you for granted, that they let you slip away, that they never truly saw the treasure they had in their hands. And as time passes, they will learn to live with that knowledge. They will carry it with them, buried deep inside, a wound that will never heal. They will search for something, someone, to fill the void, but they'll never find it. They'll never find someone who loves the way you loved, who gives the way you gave, who sees them the way you saw them. And when they look back, they'll wonder how they could have been so blind, how they could have let the one person who truly cared slip away, how they could have let someone who would have stood by them through everything, someone who would have given them everything, walk out the door without a second thought. But it's too late. You're gone, and they'll never find anyone who can replace you. You were never meant to be replaced. You were never meant to be just another part of their life that could be easily swapped out. You were meant to be cherished, to be honored, to be loved deeply and without reservation. And while they failed to see that, while they failed to understand what they had, you will rise, you will shine, and you will move forward into a life that is rich with the love and respect you deserve. So let them search, let them try, let them waste their time and energy chasing something that doesn't exist. Because the truth is, you are irreplaceable, you are one of a kind, and no matter how hard they try, they will never, ever be able to find anyone like you. And that, my friends, is something they will have to live with for the rest of their lives. You are the heart, and without you, they are nothing. They can never replace you, and for that, they will never escape the loss they created. You will continue to thrive, you will continue to rise, and in the end, that will be the final victory, because they will never replace you, and you will never need them again.